Hey guys, this is Rick at Tasty Guitar. Well, several weeks back I did a live looping lesson kind of over a blues shuffle feel, and since then several viewers have asked me to kind of break down that style a little bit. There are two main things that I'm going to show you today. One is an all downstroke approach in the shuffle feel, and kind of also how I angle the pick downwards to get a really nice tone and feel on this. I'm then going to break down some really nice chord fills that you could use both over a minor or a dominant chord blues. Make sure you come by TastyGuitar.com, get the free tab for this lesson by signing up in the bottom of the homepage. Check out membership at Tasty Guitar in the description below, and you can now support me on Patreon. Alright guys, before we get started, I'm going to show you the right hand technique that I'm using. Now this is a shuffle feel, and pretty much every strum that I'm going to be doing is with a down strum. Everything in the downward direction. So that would be like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and that's the basic underlying feel for pretty much everything. Also, the pick angle on the strings makes a big difference in tone. Now what I'm doing is angling the pick way down towards the high E string. Okay, now this is all about tone. You don't have to do this, but I really like the warm tone that I get when I angle downward and kind of glide or brush that pick against the top of the strings. So listen to the difference in tone here. If I use that angled approach, versus a standard approach. That's a lot brighter, and that's also kind of alternate strumming. And that's perfectly okay, but the all down kind of downstroke with the angled pick kind of brushing on the top of the strings is a much better tone in my opinion for this kind of feel. All right, now everything we're going to be doing is kind of an A minor groove, and that's with a shuffle feel. And everything is a 2-bar rhythm. And the first bar is pretty much identical in every rhythm, and then we're going to change it up and put the fill in the second measure. Now here's the first measure in every rhythm. Now you'll notice that I'm playing the root, that A note down there, on the low E string at the 5th fret with my thumb. So bring your thumb over the top, get a good contact with that note there, and make sure you also mute the A string with the bottom of that thumb. Okay, so you're going to hit that on beat 1. So 1 and, and also make sure you play this with a shuffle feel. 1 and. On beat 2, you're going to go down to the E note there at the 7th fret on the A string. Hit that, but then you're also going to hit the strings above it to kind of get that more kind of percussive sound. So you got to mute there with the bottom of your 3rd finger and also kind of the index finger up here. 1 and. On beat 3, you're going to go to the G note there with your index finger at the 5th fret on the D string. Again, 1. On beat 4, I'm going to go to a barred 3rd finger across the 7th fret. On the and of beat 4, back down to a barred index finger across the 5th fret, that A minor 7 chord. So here's the entire first measure. Again. You're then going to let that chord ring out there and then go back to your bass note on beat 1 of the following measure, hit it on 1 and then the and of 1. So here is the entire groove here. And let that ring together, the chord on top together with the bass note coming in on beat 1. So that is going to form the foundation of bar 1 of each of these 2-bar rhythms, and then we're going to throw the fill in the second bar. Let's go ahead and take a look at fill number 1. All right guys, fill number 1 here starts exactly like that main part of the rhythm that we just went over, and then it's going to pick up in beat 2 of that second measure there, going to the E note, right? And then you're going to play 2 triplets starting with the barred 1st finger across the 5th fret, the barred third finger across the 7th fret, and then sliding that barred third finger up to the 8th fret, and then going back to the 7th fret, the 5th fret, ending on the 7th fret. So that's the main part there. That's 2 beats of triplets on beats 3 and 4 in this second measure. So here's the entire rhythm very slowly. Again. Pick it up. And you'll also notice when I play the triplet part of this fill that I'm staying really tight with my right hand. You can't do a big wide motion and expect to keep up at that tempo. Really small little motion with the right hand. All right guys, fill number 2 is almost identical to the first one. We're just changing up those triplets on beats 3 and 4 of the second measure. So now we start with our index finger at the 5th fret. Then we slide up into the 8th fret. Then we hit dead strings, 7th fret, 5th, ending back on the 7th fret. So here's the entire thing. Pick it up. All right, again, in fill number 3, we're just changing up the triplets at the end, this time starting with dead strings, then a barred third finger at the 8th fret, hitting that and sliding it down to the 7th fret twice. Ending then on the 5th fret barred with our index finger. So here's the entire thing. And let's pick it up a little bit. All right, again in fill number 4, just changing up the triplets at the end, this time going to the index finger barred, 7th fret, then dead strings. And you do that 2 times. Here's the entire fill really slowly. All right, this last one is probably the trickiest one of the bunch. It's changing on beat 2 of that second measure. We're now playing a triplet there, followed by 8th notes and a triplet again on beat 4, starting with the E note, then to the index finger barred at the 5th fret, then dead strings. So again, then sliding into the 8th fret across the top 3 strings, back down to the 7th fret. So far you'd have that. And then the final beat there, dead strings, 5th fret, ending on the 7th fret. So from beat 2 of the second measure, so here is the entire rhythm. Again. And let's pick it up a little bit now.